All right, welcome everyone to the Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. I'm Frank. This is Mike. Welcome to the show. This is episode number 16, and we're going to be discussing a few topics today. It won't be too long. We'll make the show pretty quick. We're going to focus today on, of course, Tom Brady decided to come back into the NFL.
Yes.
We'll also get into some other Bears news with the free agent signings and more releases from the Bears, as well as some Bulls talk, NBA talk, as well as our daily Ben Simmons rant. So with that being said, it was a pretty busy week, especially with the NFL free agency signings, but we're going to kick it off with the news of the week. So, about 40 days ago, it's a big news that Tom Brady decided to retire from the NFL. You know, a lot of heartbroken people, not me, but...
I was one for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
That's my man right there.
Of course. But there was a lot of, people sad that Tom Brady was retiring, but now, 40 days later, all their dreams have been answered. It was just a nightmare for them. Because Tom Brady decided, oh, no, I'm not done yet. I'm going to come back and I'm going to play another season at, 44, 45 when he comes back.
Look at all that greatness the man delivers, man. I mean, whether how old you keep saying that he is, every time this man touches the field, he's basically blessing us. He's blessing us with greatness, blessing us with history. I mean, for a man that age to still be performing at that level, I mean, come on now. 44, 45 years old, and you're still bringing your team to the conference championships. I mean, come on now. Give the man his credit. I'm thrilled that he's back. Because I thought last year when they were saying it was going to be his last dance, he never said it was going to be his last dance. He said he always wanted to. He always said he wanted to play up to about 47, 48 years old. Well, he's a little shorter of that, but he's back. The Buccaneers, where everyone thought they didn't know what they were going to do, who their quarterback was going to be. They were uncertain. Well, guess what? Not anymore. They know Brady's back. I can guarantee you they're going to be in the playoffs again. They just re-signed Chris Godwin to a new 3-year, $60 million contract. So he's going to be back. We're not going to miss, I'm sorry, not we. They're not going to miss Antonio Brown, which was hating when the Buccaneers had lost. He went on Instagram, basically trashing Brady. Brady's going to throw that in his face because he's going to be on the sideline still trying to beg teams to be on their team next season.
Well, he won't be on the sideline. He'll just be a spectator in the crowd because I don't see a team picking him up at all.
Yep.
Now, we don't know about Gronk. Is he coming back?
Yes, Gronk is coming back.
We'll see.
More history to be made between Brady throwing the Gronk for the most passes between one player and a tight end. I mean, come on now.
Well, I don't think it's a good decision. If you're retired, stay retired. But coming back at 45 or 44, 45, whatever he'll be when the season starts.
He was just playing last year.
Yeah, but you're a year older and you're in your mid-40s.
That's just high level.
That's unheard of. What quarterback has played at 40 in the NFL? I mean, I think how old was Doug Flutie when he played?
Yeah, but how effective was he? He wasn't.
Or David Craig, I think, when it was one of those older players. I don't know. I mean, it's very unusual, but the thing about it is you never know what can happen at that age. Coming back, the game ain't slowing down; it's only getting faster. And you're still gonna have that same arm.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
His arm didn't look like it was dying down, not one bit, last season. I mean, he was throwing darts that we wish that we saw Justin Fields throwing here. No disrespect, but no shade. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But Brady he's a specimen. You keep bringing up his age. Since 37, 38, you've been expecting him to go away, as you like to say, because he's so old. But he keeps winning Super Bowls. It's amazing. Give the man his credit.
I think it's a desperation move on Tampa Bay. They probably suckered him into coming back because they knew if he didn't come back, they weren't even going to be a playoff team next season. So, just like the Packers, these desperate teams are so desperate to keep these players. But what's going to happen when they're retired? They're going to retire at some point because you know who's undefeated? Father Time. And that's going to remain that way too. So Tom Brady could come back, and I don't know what he's going to give you at 45 years old. I just think that, retire, stay retired. We don't, give it. Let the young cats, let the young bucks run the league now. You've had your time. You've been in the league 20 freaking years, over 20 years at this point. Why are you still playing? You have a beautiful wife. You have a beautiful family. You have lots of money. You ain't worried about finances. Why are you still playing? What is the point? You have 7 championships. What more do you need to prove, Tom Brady, to be in the league? There's nothing you need to prove to these fans. They're not, so what? Are they going to be there if you get hurt? Retire, enjoy life as a 45-year-old, still pretty young to do everything else that you want to do in your life. Enjoy life. I know I would.
How about the fact that he just enjoys the game? He enjoys the game.
Yeah, but
enjoys
you
being
could
out
be
there.
a coach.
He enjoys the competition.
Be a
not
coach.
The same.
Be
it's
a
not
coach.
the same being out there
Go
with the
buy a
guys
team.
in the trenches.
Buy a team, then. Let him buy a
Making
team.
these decisions in the trenches with the team. It's a totally different thing.
But the NFL, just like any professional sports, is a young man's sport.
I couldn't tell last year.
It's not a sport for a 45-year-old man to be playing.
How old was our MVP of the NFL last year? How old was he?
Who?
The MVP of the NFL for this young man sport.
Aaron Rodgers.
How old was he?
37.
Okay, and how old was the MVP the year before?
Was it Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, again, it was Aaron
36,
Rodgers. Oh,
37.
So this is such a young man.
But it's
sport.
a big difference between 36, 37, and 45. That's a big difference in the NFL.
Man sport, we're talking about like 24, 25, 26. This man is 37 years old, winning MVP.
I just think that you have no reason to be playing anymore. You've done everything you could possibly do in the NFL. I mean, how about this? Play some defense. Go on to defense. Be a linebacker. Be a cornerback. How about that? How about be a wide receiver? Have someone throw you the ball. Want to try something new? Try that. Since you don't want to coach and you don't want to retire, how about something on the quarterback?
Why would you do that? You're already great at being a quarterback. Why would you?
I'm just saying. The bottom line is he's back. So hey.
I'm happy.
We'll see. Well, now you never know because he might change his mind again and say, you know what, I want to retire again. So you know what, this is an ongoing saga. This reminds me of Brett Favre. I want to retire and I don't want to retire. I want to retire. I don't want to retire. I mean, my God, just decide what you want to do.
I don't think Brett Favre said he wanted to not retire after he came back.
No.
Like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back into retirement. No, he played, and Tom Brady will play, and he will make the playoffs.
Well, we'll see.
He's going to be competing for a championship.
We will see.
Yet again.
We will see. Be continued.
He'll probably beat Patrick Mahomes again.
I doubt that. But we'll see. To be continued on this. And the season doesn't start until, first game of the season is not until September.
Yeah, not for a while.
So we got some time to go. We'll see. And a lot can change in 6 months.
Yep.
So we'll definitely see what happens. I just think that it's a mistake. You should stay retired. But man will do what he wants. The league is happy to see him back because he's going to make a lot of money for the league.
Yep.
He's going to make Tampa Bay fans happy, and I guess other fans around the league that want to see him. I really don't. But a lot of fans that want to see him play, fine. I personally wish he'd stay retired.
I can't wait.
And I really wish he'd take Aaron Rodgers with them and LeBron James with them too.
Wow.
Retire, go away. Let the young man take over the sport. When you were up and coming, I'm sure at that time you wanted Troy Aikman to retire and Dan Marino to retire and John Elway to retire and those players to retire, Brett Favre to retire. Now let these other young quarterbacks in there like the Mahomes.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is back for another 3 years. So
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Plus.
We'll see. We don't know about that.
Still dominating.
Well, that's to be continued too. So
okay.
But we talked enough about Brady. He's back. Fine.
All right. Let's get into some Bears talk. Bears.
Yep. Moving on to some Bears talk here. So the Bears have been a little bit busy here with the start of the new season, officially for the NFL. Today, I believe, started the free agency markets. The teams can start to sign players. Free agency can take effect.
Yep.
I know they signed players last week, but they officially signed today. So we do know some of the moves that the Bears made. We already mentioned this before on the last show. Obviously, the Khalil Mack release or trade. They traded Khalil Mack, the Bears did, as well as letting go of Eddie Goldman, as well as Tyreek Cohen. Now today they did another cut. They got rid of Danny Trevathan, which I again believe is a great move.
Me too.
Because again, this is another player, just like Khalil Mack and just like Tyreek Cohen. They are injured. They didn't play a lot of games last year. Why are we keeping you on the roster? You are not producing at a high level like you're supposed to, like you're getting paid. We don't have time for this. The Bears don't have time for this. This GM is aggressive. He's like, we're not going to be keeping players around here. They're not going to be able to get on the field and play. They're continuously being injured. They don't have time for this. They want to move on with the rebuilding process and try to get this team competitive next season. And with that being the case, with these roster moves that they're making, they are actually going to have a lot of cap space as one of the top teams with cap space to go after a top tier free agent this year. So in my opinion, I believe it is a great move, a continually good move of getting rid of these players that were here the last couple of years. But what was it, Trevathan? He missed several games. He only put up 13 sacks in how many years?
6 years you put up 13 sacks.
Now that's just uncalled for.
But
you usually put up 13 sacks a season, not in six seasons.
But look at this move though. We just picked up a defensive tackle from the Cincinnati Bengals, Larry Ogunjobi. This man just last season had 7 sacks and 12 tackles for loss. I mean, already having him on the team is an impact. We just picked up another linebacker from the Raiders, as a matter of fact. What's his name? Nicholas Morrow. He's on a 1-year contract. He's already been in the league 5 years. He's experienced. He was getting it in. So, out with these guys that have been sitting on the sideline. I understand it. I don't want to sound I don't know. I don't want to sound mean about it, but there are some guys like Tyreek Cohen. Yes, you were great when you were playing. You were productive. You got injured 2 years ago. Now you're about to be the 3rd year and you still can't do cuts. Unfortunately, we can't be paying you for you to be sitting on the sideline and just working out all the time. Same thing goes with Khalil Mack. You just play 5-6 games. We got to keep paying you. And then this year, you're probably going to get hurt again. Then we got to keep paying you. So let's get some younger guys out there, some dynamic players out there that can last more than 5 or 6 games, because this is costing us. We can't have third stringers coming out or practice squad guys coming out because everyone is hurt. I know it's a tough game, but man, that's not happening to all the other teams. I mean, there are teams out there that, their players are solid from beginning to end. It can't just be every time we look at the Bears. Oh, so this guy's grabbing his leg, this guy's grabbing his knee, this guy's grabbing his ankle. I'm out. I'm gonna sit on the sideline for the rest of the year. That's my rant with that. We did a lot of good pickups. We even picked up an offensive lineman from the Packers, Lucas Patrick. He's on a 2-year contract.
They took away one of Aaron Rodgers' offensive linemen, which is good.
Yep.
And again, these roster moves that are making, these are necessary moves to make because the Bears have got to jump into the 21st century here and build the offense up and build around Justin Fields. So this move to let go of Trevathan is great because it opens up cap space so the Bears can actually go and get, hopefully, a top-tier wide receiver, go and build the offensive lineman around to protect Justin Fields, because the man took a hammering. He took a beating last season because no offensive line. And the guy has to constantly be rushed out of the pocket and cannot get a play set. Not a good thing for a rookie.
No.
But again, I do think so far the moves that this GM is making, Poles is making, is great. I am fine with it, and they got to keep on doing it. I know they're not going to be picking up. They're not going to keep up Hakeem Hicks. He's gone, and we're not keeping Allen Robinson. He's gone. I just let him go.
I thought he was already gone. No.
They're not picking him up.
Okay.
No one has picked him up officially yet. I don't believe, not unless I saw.
Okay.
But I know the Bears are going to get him, so they can use all this money and they can go and get and build around the offense. And that's what has to be done, because in order for the Bears to compete, at least in the NFL, and to compete in their own division, it starts with the offense. I was mentioning this off camera, is that, look, the Bears cannot be a 25th ranked offensive team in the NFL and expect to compete in the division and even make the playoffs. Now, in the playoffs, it's a different animal, But in the regular season, you have to be a top 5 offense to get in the playoffs. You got to be able to win games in your division. You got to win games in your conference. Being a top-ranked defense, but being one of the worst offensives in the league is not going to get you anything. And look at what it's done. Look what it's done for the Bears for the past 10 years. Nothing. Okay? You've got to have a top 5 offense. And that's where you got to build around. You can have a top 5 offense. You don't have to have the best defense in the league. You could be a top 15 defense in the league, but be a top 5 offense in the league and still compete. You know, you can compete. You could beat Green Bay. The problem why we can't beat Green Bay, why the Bears can't beat Green Bay, yes, Aaron Rodgers is a big factor. But what happens? For the most part, the Bears do clamp it down on Aaron Rodgers. The defense does clamp it down on him most of the time. He doesn't just go wild and throw 40 points on the Bears. He usually puts up 23, 24 points, 27 points.
We show up to play.
But here's the problem. What happens? It's not the defense, because here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is a great player. I'm not going to take that away. But he's going to get his plays. He's going to get his touchdowns. You're not going to shut him out. The offense is the problem. What happens with the Bears on offense against Green Bay? They always mess up. They always throw some kind of boneheaded turnover, some boneheaded move. They can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball. Somehow they make Green Bay's defense look like a Pro Bowl championship defense, and we know they're not. Okay? And so they end up putting 13 points or 7 points. That's ridiculous. You should be putting up 35 points and burn this defense, as crappy as it is, every single time. You put up 35 points against Green Bay's crappy defense, and let's make Aaron Rodgers throw the ball 50 times and put some pressure on him to make him score 38 to match you. Until they can do that, they're not going to beat Green Bay. So I want a top-tier offense. I want weapons for Justin Fields. I want him to throw 360 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and I want Montgomery to have 150 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns against Green Bay. And let's see what Aaron Rodgers can do against that. Okay. You know, I don't think he'll be able to match that, especially this season coming up, where he's not going to have a lot of weapons around him as much as people think. He's not going to have the same players around him as he had the last several years, because all that money that they spend is on 2 players. And from my understanding, Adams don't even want to play there under no franchise tag.
Nope, they gave him $20 million.
So he doesn't want it. He says he's not even going to show up to play right now. As of right now, he says he's not even going to show up to play.
Crazy.
But you got to look at it from his point of view.
$20 million,
but it's for
play for 1 year.
Yeah, but what happens?
And you don't take that?
But let's say he gets injured. Okay, let's say he tears his ACL and he can't play the rest of the season. And what's going to happen next season? He's a free agent. Now what? Now he cannot get a long-term contract anymore because no one's going to pick him up with a bad leg, a bad knee. That's why these players do not like the franchise tag, because it gives them a 1-year deal on an average of the top-tier players, which is fine.
To get crazy money.
But you want to get a long-term deal. You want to get a 4 or 5-year deal for worth $200 million or something like that. Not one season playing for $20 million. Great, you're getting $20 million for 1 year, but this is the NFL. You have a very short period of time to play.
Not for long.
Exactly. So you want to get that long-term deal. So when you franchise someone, like, I don't want this. I want give me a $200 million deal where you pay me $20 million for the next 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, and they can do that, but they're not. They can't. So
let me ask you this. So right now, there's a hot quarterback that's out there. Forget what his antics off the field or his problems, which were legally solved. Would you pick up Deshaun Watson over Justin Fields?
No.
Why not?
Because we put all of our eggs in the basket with Justin Fields, 1. Okay. 2, I'm not saying Watson is a bad. No, we don't know what he can do.
Deshaun Watson, we don't know what he can do.
Watson, we know. Fields, we don't know, because he's only a second-year player, and they put too much. They put too much effort and too much. They don't have any. First of all,
would you rather not?
First of all, do you know what Houston's asking for? They're asking for 3 first-round picks and a whole bunch of top players. The Bears don't have any first-round picks this season. So you're talking about trading next first-round pick, 23, 24, 25. The Bears won't have a freaking first-round pick till 2027 or 26.
Yeah, okay.
And then you got to trade away other players too, just to get Watson. And we don't know what's going to happen with Watson's legal issues, because yes, he's been, for the most part, been cleared. No, he's been cleared from the criminal. But now he has a whole bunch of civil lawsuits against him with all these different women. They all are filing lawsuits on him and civil issues.
So
with
he's
him.
gonna settle basically.
So he may have to settle with all of them, or he may be going to court with all of them. We don't know.
If that's gonna happen, he can't play.
And then on top of that, we don't know what the NFL is going to do as far as discipline him. The NFL may suspend him for a whole year. We don't know. They don't know what the NFL is going to do.
What? He was not found guilty of doing it.
But of his actions with the other issues with these women. These women are filing civil suits on him. So if he's settling with them, that's telling you something. Like, okay, so you're settling. So it means something happened here. You got 22 cases.
Well, it's just a matter of quieting it down so you can get your name back instead of your name being dragged through the mud every single day on the news. Oh, Deshaun Watson with 22 ladies that he sexually assaulted or was sexually aggressive with during massages. So this man is sitting here picking out all these Instagram models that are massagers to come over, and he's getting overly excited with them. I mean, it was admitted that some of them were consensual. But some of them are saying it.
But here's what's going to happen: if this stuff goes to court, and all this stuff comes out,
Well, he won't be able to play this season.
And the NFL, you don't know what the NFL is going to discipline him. So a team could go in and give away the farm for the next several years to get this guy, and then what's going to happen next season? The NFL says, because of your actions, we're suspending you for the whole season. You're not going to play until 2023.
How do you think that team would feel if they did that?
That's why
they should step in now and
there are
there
are teams that are very much interested in Watson.
Of course.
There are 3 teams I believe that I think Cleveland is one of them for sure. I know I forgot what the other 2 teams were, but Houston.
I think
and then also he has to agree. He has a no trade clause. He's
not staying in Houston.
No. What I mean is he is dictating where he wants to go. So he's already told Houston, okay, I want to be traded. And Houston's, okay, we're going to trade you. We want 3 first-round picks. So which team is going to give that up? And then they have to make a decision. Watson's going to be the final decision maker on it because he has to give the okay. Houston could say, okay, so we're going to make a deal with Cleveland for 3 first-round picks and Baker Mayfield for you and probably a couple of other players. Do you agree with this? He has to say yes in order for him to do it.
Okay.
And also speaking of Cleveland like that, Baker Mayfield I think sent a message to his fans thanking him. So he thinks he's probably out of town.
Wait. The same type of message that Aaron Rodgers sent out, thanking his fans and thanking the people that he played with and the memories and everything like that. How he put everything in the same message. He put it out today. Was it on Instagram? Thanking everybody, but he's pretty much sure he's out. I'm pretty much sure he's out. And I think that Deshaun Watson is going to go to Cleveland.
Well, if he goes to Cleveland, yes. But if he doesn't, they're keeping Baker Mayfield because they invested a lot in him.
How about another pick for the Bears? Look at my man here. The Titans released Julio Jones.
After one season.
Is that not a good pick for the Bears?
No, it's not. No,
why would that not be? He's a dynamic dynamic wide receiver. We have a brand new quarterback.
Pull up his stats.
What do you mean?
Pull up his stats for the last couple of years. My understanding is Julio Jones has been injury prone the last several years. He's an older player. I do not like that move. I do not want the Bears to pick him up. Again, we need healthy players, productive, healthy players, not injured players. Julio Jones was a good player, but I don't think he would work with the Bears now.
So his numbers last year, he had 31 receptions for 434
That's not going to cut it.
And a touchdown, marking the least productive campaign of his NFL career.
And he only played 10 games.
He played 10 games. He got hurt. Okay.
It's not going to work for him.
He had hamstring injuries.
And you think that's going to stop because he comes to the Bears? He's just getting older.
Okay.
That's not. Bears could pass on that.
So he's 33.
That is also age and injury.
He spent a long time with Atlanta.
Age, injury, and plus he's not in Atlanta. He's going to be playing in cold Chicago if he comes here.
Okay.
That's not going to be very good for him. I don't see him doing much here.
All right.
I don't think the Bears should get him. That's what I just don't. I don't agree with that. I hope they don't get him. And leave it as that. Now I'm hoping. I know Cooper Kupp ain't on the market, is he? That would be lovely.
No, he's not.
That would be lovely if he's
Come on now.
We can pick him up for sure.
Let's be serious.
Throw a bunch of loaded cash on him for several years and keep him here, and get him to come here. That would be lovely. Maybe Green Bay. What does it say about Zardarius? He's turning to going to the Ravens, huh?
Yep.
So they lost him, huh?
Yep.
So see, Green Bay is losing defense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're gonna have to lose some of these players because of all that money they're paying Rodgers and Adams. They're gonna have to make some tough decisions.
Yep.
So, but the Bears just have to get a couple of I say a top tier wide receiver, get some good offensive linemen, or a couple of offensive.
We're
linemen.
making the right moves right now.
I do think, and then you got the draft coming up. I do think. I think we should get another tight end. Now, Komet looks like he could be good because he's still a young player, but I'd like a little bit more depth at tight end position. We can get rid of Graham because he just isn't doing it for me.
Jimmy Graham he was very lackluster
Old
last
and
season.
injured.
He caught a few touchdowns, but they were like, give me touchdowns, So we need someone a little bit younger and a little bit more dynamic.
And they got to decide on which of these quarterbacks, or both of them, or one of them, or both of them need to go, and that's either Folds or Dalton.
I let Foles go.
You're paying these guys a lot of money to be backups. They're not going to be starting.
I would let Nick Foles go and keep Andy Dalton. I like Andy Dalton.
Fine, let Foles leave. That'll free up cap space, more cap space for the Bears. Not just for this season, but for the following seasons as well. Because I'm not expecting them to be Super Bowl champions.
How about we drop Foles and pick up Colin Kaepernick? I know you've been seeing his workout tapes that he's been sending out.
Well, I mean,
what do you think about that?
I've been saying this for years.
He's been rocking your haircut.
With the the problem is he's been blackballed from the NFL.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And you can't tell me with all these garbage quarterbacks that are playing for some of these teams, you can't pick up a quarterback like Colin Kaepernick. What's the worst he can do compared to some of these other quarterbacks that are in the league? We're talking an experienced former Super Bowl, not champion, but Super Bowl quarterback.
But he hasn't been in the NFL since 2016, Frank. What do you think? Do you think he's still got the game time, the same dynamics that he had from 6 years ago? Do you think he's going to be out there and be as productive?
It may take him some time to get made back to the NFL game, but here's what he has on him. He has missed several years. That means he is more fresher, and that means no injuries. That kind of reminds me of back in the day with Grant Hill. When he had all those injuries, he missed all those years. But then, as you see, when he came back later on in his career, he played probably played 5 or 6 years more than he needed to. And he was productive because all those years that he missed because of injury, he got healthy and missed several years, and he came back and was healthy and he was productive. Kaepernick is, 33, 34?
Is he already that old?
Yeah. So he's 34 years old.
Yeah.
He's 34 years old, but he is healthy. He keeps himself in good shape, and he has not been injured. So he could probably give you about 5 years in the NFL.
Well, I just read that he worked out with Tyler Lockett. He's one of the wide receivers for the Seahawks.
But here's what I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about him working out with quarterbacks. I want to hear him working out for teams, not private workouts with players. How about workouts for teams?
He has to advertise himself because no team is giving him
that's the thing.
shot.
That's the problem. There are no teams that are saying, okay, Kaepernick, we want you to come in and see what you got. You don't see other teams doing this. And that's the problem. That's,
What's that guy with the mustache that I used to make fun of all the time? Young guy. He played for the Jaguars.
Tannehill?
No. He had a mustache. He was from here. And you guys were all cheering for him. I wasn't feeling him so much.
Garoppolo's from here, Jimmy G.
I'll figure out his name. But I was talking about like a mediocre quarterback that's in the league right now. Like Kaepernick could definitely, give him a chance, let him work out. He's already taken his time away from the league. 6 years of not paying this man. I know Nike gave him a little severance.
Oh, he's fine with money, but he just wants a shot to play in the NFL.
Well,
and these leagues, it's these owners. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily the coaches or the GMs. I think it's the owners. This is the good old boys club. Let's not forget about this. Okay, the owners don't want him in the league, which is a shame because they want to practice diversity and Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. and football for women and all this other stuff. Yet why are you blackballing Kaepernick? Because why? What he did was true. His kneeling on the thing, yes. And guess what happened? Everyone started doing it, and now you accept it. But now you won't accept him in the league. That is just bullshit, and I'm gonna call it on that. This guy's been blackballed for no reason at all, and they should give this man a chance to play in the league. I mean, because I can tell you he's probably better than half the damn quarterbacks in the freaking league right now.
Well, I'd have to see him play live to back that up.
I've
seen his workout video. It looks good. His mechanics look
okay.
good. His arm still looks good.
I'll bet you this. I'll tell you this. I like Jimmy G, but if you replace Jimmy G with Kaepernick again, put him in San Francisco, with his athleticism and his arm, I bet you'll be more accurate than Jimmy G was, and I bet you'll be more offensively productive than Jimmy G. Now, no disrespect to Jimmy G, because he's a Super Bowl quarterback. Not even Super Bowl. Yeah, I guess. Was he a Super Bowl quarterback? I can't remember now.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, he's an experienced quarterback, playoff experienced quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But Kaepernick is also an experienced quarterback with Super Bowl experience and playoff experience, and he's more lengthy, more athletic, more flexible, and has a longer arm, has a deeper arm than Jimmy G. I'm just naming one.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put the hurt on Jimmy G because I thought he's very productive. But you could talk about several other quarterbacks that are in the league. You know what I mean?
There are tons of quarterbacks that he could definitely.
I find it all absolutely crap that this man is still being blackballed.
I'm sure they can use him on the Jets, because they haven't had a decent quarterback since Brett Favre left.
Giants can use him. The Jaguars can use him.
For sure.
Goodness gracious. I think Detroit could probably use him. Who else?
Yeah, no disrespect to Jared Goff, huh? He said Detroit, huh? Okay.
I'm just being honest.
I think Minnesota could use him, because I think he's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins does put up numbers. You got to admit he's put up numbers. So I don't know about that.
But where's the championship at? Where's that at?
Well, it's not just his fault.
They're paying him a lot of money.
It's not just his fault. I mean, their defense too now. But I think he's being blackballed. Everyone knows he's being blackballed. I just hope that some teams will work him out and he'll get in the league. There's no reason why he cannot be in the league. Right?
Agreed.
And that's what I feel about that. Now, moving on to the NBA, we're going to start with our Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Now, the Bulls had a 3-game winning streak recently. It was broke by a disappointing loss the other night to Sacramento Kings. That was just...
I mean, Sabonis came out with that fire.
That was just ridiculous. The Bulls losing to the Sacramento... Call them the Queens still or no? Sacramento Queens? No.
They're
but they were down by 20 freaking points to this team.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Kings who are not even getting in the playoffs, okay? Now, the most disappointing thing that I saw here is after this loss, the Bulls fell below 500 on the road.
Yeah.
They're 16 and 17 on the road. That's not good. Now, of course, we can blame it all on the fact that they're still not healthy. Yes, Levine gave you, 27 points?
Yep. But Fox killed him with 34 points, though.
And
he was unstoppable. He was so fast.
It's the defense. Okay? They give up too many 3-pointers. They don't clog up the middle. And how many times do I got to keep going to keep feeding the same issue every single game?
Sabonis makes a big difference with Sacramento. Sacramento, without Sabonis, I think we would have beat them. But Sabonis made a big difference.
We played with Sabonis when they played him before and they beat him. My point is, the Bulls are not to be losing to these garbage teams. It's bad enough they can't beat the top teams, but now you're losing to the crappy teams too? It's just ridiculous, and it's not. It's
any given night. They were on a 3-game winning streak, so I'm not gonna bash them too much. I was disappointed with that loss, but the Kings showed up. I mean, De'Aaron Fox showed up.
34 points. This guy should have had 14 points. There's no reason why he gets 34. And the Kings, let's face it, they're a garbage team. They haven't been in the playoffs in 20 years, and you got the Bulls losing to them. And that's the problem.
Vooch did his part. He had 23 points and 10 boards. Another double-double. His 39th double-double of the season. I mean, like I said, the man is a walking double-double.
The Bulls shot 40% from the field and 29% from three-point range. And this is where they're missing Lonzo Ball at, because he gives them those 3-pointers.
And he'll be back.
Okay?
He'll be back.
They have got to tighten the defense up. Their defense is horrible. It's horrible now. They're not going to, they'll probably make the playoffs, but I mean, I don't want them
probably gonna make
the Bulls will probably make the playoffs, but I don't want them going to the playoffs struggling and a potential first round knockout. That's the problem. They got to get better. Now they're playing Utah tonight. I don't know what the score is. I haven't checked it, but they're in Utah, so. And they fell below 500, so the chances are not good that they'll win it. I hope they do win the game. They need to win the game because they've got to step it up. They've got to step it up.
Well,
we don't know how long Ball is going to be out for, but they said his recovery's been very slow.
Yeah, well, Caruso's back, and I feel as if he's been energizing the Bulls since he's came back. Tristan Thompson's been making a big difference. I know you saw those blocks he was getting, protecting the rim. I think the defense has gotten better. That's why we had the 3-game winning streak. Yeah, it's any given night. Sacramento beat us that game, but I don't think that if we played a 5-game series or a 7-game series, that Sacramento would beat us in a 7-game series. But I'm still confident the Bulls would still beat them.
But they really needed that game because of the tough road they got ahead of them. They have a lot of road games coming up. They only have a few home games. They have a bunch of road games coming up. And that Sacramento game was needed. They had to win that game.
Yeah.
Go back. Is that so? What happened? Is that the final score?
Well, it's still the fourth quarter. We still got time. We got time.
Okay, so they're currently losing right now to Utah, 96-103. So there's still about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So it's not looking good, and that's why they needed that Sacramento win. They needed to beat Sacramento because they got a tough game coming. Because it doesn't get any better for the Bulls. They got Phoenix coming up Friday.
Yes, they do. Phoenix Friday at 9 p.m.
That's in Phoenix. It's on prime time.
We're gonna lose that game, man. I'm sorry.
That's a possibility. They probably will. And then they got the Toronto Raptors,
which I believe we can beat. I don't think Toronto is that good of a team. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I think the Bulls will beat them. Fred VanVleet. That's like their main guy.
He killed him the last game, but
OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. Those are the three
Toronto's
guys you
had
gotta
the
watch
Bulls
out
numbers
for.
the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They've only got one win over Toronto for the last how many years, so they have to win this game.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And then after that, we gotta face the great Giannis. And again, last time we played them, it wasn't. We kept it close when we played them. It was a pretty close game. It could have went anyone's way, but look,
they've got to get healthy.
We're gonna make the playoffs. That there's no doubt about it. As you can see right now, we've fallen down to fourth place. It's Philly above us, Milwaukee in second place, and of course Miami holding on to that top spot with Tyler Hero doing all the work. Because again, Jimmy Butler got hurt last night, pulled another hamstring or another muscle. I'm not lying. This happened. He stays hurt. Tyler Hero, my cap off to you.
But Miami,
man, you are killing.
Miami's not going anywhere without Butler.
It doesn't look like that way to me.
You
Tyler
know
Hero's
this.
been holding them down.
Miami is not going anywhere without Jimmy Buckets. If he does not play, they don't win. They're not going anywhere in the playoffs without him. They can win a couple of games in the regular season and get by through the regular season without him, maybe. But they're definitely not going to be winning anything in the playoffs without Jimmy Butler.
Man,
you know this.
Man, it looks like Phoenix is the only team that actually clinched a playoff spot. They did that 2 weeks ago? No one else has, huh? And somehow you're talking about that, they're not the best team in the West.
They are the best team record-wise in the league.
Record-wise and period. They are the best team in the West. It's not Golden State. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not Golden State.
Record-wise, they are the best team in the league.
Did you hear Draymond Green's interview? He guaranteed. Mm-hmm. He guaranteed yesterday that the Golden State Warriors are going to win a championship this year. He guaranteed it. What do you got to say about that?
I don't disagree with them. I believe they are going to
totally disagree with him.
I believe they will win the championship this year.
You got to worry about Phoenix. You got to worry about the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. They're not the top team. Hell, they might even have to worry about Dallas because I watched Dallas handle them with Klay Thompson on the court. So go ahead.
I totally agree with Draymond Green's comment. If that's what he said, I didn't read the quote.
He did.
But if he said that, I agree with him because Golden State, when he comes back, they're going to be 100%. And you got Klay Thompson coming off. You saw what he did the other night. He couldn't stop it shooting threes. Back to the old Klay Thompson.
He had one good game.
Yeah, that will continue to happen.
Really?
And they're going to continue to get better. And they're already number 3 in the league. They're only a half a game behind Memphis. Now, they're not going to get the number 1 seed, but they don't need it. You know, it's going to be between them, Memphis, and Phoenix. And I believe Golden State will actually beat Memphis if they play them in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, Memphis is a great team, and John Morant, I believe, is the MVP of the season so far. And they are a very, very good team, very dangerous team. I'm not going to say that the Warriors will just blow right by them, but I do believe the Warriors will beat them. Their experienced championship core of their team is not going to allow them to lose. And then when they play Phoenix, I guarantee you, Phoenix is not going to win that series. They are not coming out of the West. They had their chance last year against Milwaukee, and they blew it. I don't care what their record says. They're not coming out of the West. They play Golden State or Memphis, I do believe they will lose to Memphis or Golden State. But I believe it's going to be Golden State that's going to be coming out of the West. And Golden State will definitely handle anybody that comes out of the East. Especially if it's Milwaukee again.
Nope.
They will definitely handle them.
Nope.
If it's the Sixers, they will definitely handle them.
Nope.
If it's the Heat, they'll definitely handle them.
Their time is over.
Golden
State's time is over. They're
Absolutely
great.
not.
They're great for the regular season, but as far as them winning championships, they are over. Please don't strain Klay Thompson too much. Please don't strain him. 2 bad legs. Please don't strain him too much, or else you're gonna see him limping off the court again. Draymond Green, age is definitely catching up to him. Great player, great floor general, but again, all these pulled muscles. These are years and years and years of these guys running at their top speed, running up and down that court, run and gun as the Golden State Warriors. At some point, that wear and tear catches up to you.
Wait a minute. First of all, they're going to be healthy starting tonight.
I can definitely
go down the stretch. And again, they didn't get as far as they were the last couple of years because what? Klay Thompson was out. Now they got him back. They got Steph Curry there, and you got Draymond Green. They got their core players back, and then you got Andrew Wiggins there with them. Oh no,
Andrew Wiggins can't figure out what he's supposed to do anymore since Klay Thompson's been back.
They'll find something for him. Trust me. Golden State
His
is
scoring
fine.
has diminished.
It's supposed to diminish.
From 24 a game down to 12 a game.
That's going to happen because you got Klay Thompson back.
So how is he a factor like that anymore?
You have Klay Thompson. He's another weapon that they're going to be using.
I predict that they're going to fail trying to find chemistry in the playoffs with Klay Thompson trying to do too much, trying to be himself again. I'm going to leave that at that. Phoenix, I got Phoenix coming out the West because unfortunately my Lakers are just so disappointing right now in sitting in 9th place.
10 games under 500.
In 9th place, 3 games away from, possibly getting booted into 11th place and letting Portland take over, the play-in spot. This is ridiculous. I'm going to rant about that too. I know I ran about Ben Simmons, and I'll get to him in a little bit. But the Lakers, oh my God, man. Oh my God, shame on you guys. Shame on you guys for having to have a 37-year-old man, great GOAT, out there having to lead you guys in all statistical categories. Rebounds, he's leading in it. Assists, LeBron James is leading in it. Points, he's leading in it. Minutes per game, he's leading. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Shame on you guys. Young men, young prospects, and you guys are letting this old man have to handle all the work because what? You're not getting paid enough, so that means that you're not talented? That's ridiculous. Be competitive. Go out there and play the entire game because I watch you guys nightly.
If they lose 3 more games.
I'm tired of it.
If they lose 3 more games, hear me out, 3 more games, they're going to be guaranteed to be under 500. They may still make the playoffs. In the play-in.
I don't even want to see them make the playoffs.
But they are going to be guaranteed to be under 500. Right now, they're 10 games under. Now, let me ask you this. LeBron would have been better off if he would have kept his ass in Cleveland. Because look where Cleveland's at right now. They're doing better than the Lakers.
He won a championship in LA already. Are we gonna take that away? He came to LA and won a championship. He delivered for them. They need to deliver for him.
Cleveland is what? 39-30? Is that what the record is?
Cleveland is.
They're 9 games over. The Lakers are 10 games under.
In a different
in
West Coast and
exactly.
Coast.
So if he was with Cleveland right now, they probably would have a better record than 39-30. They'd probably be near the top of the league in the East.
Possibly.
You know? And you never know what happened if you played Giannis in the playoffs, or played Embiid in the playoffs, or played the Heat in the playoffs, in the East. Never know. But he chose to go out West. So, to me, I have no sympathy for him. He wanted to play out in L.A. with all his superstar players. They put that roster together, and they want to get all superstars, all aging superstars, and thinking they were going to do anything. What I already predicted, you get a bunch of aging superstars. What you're going to get in the regular season is a bunch of injuries, missed games, and overrated.
Man, I wish I had my Facebook post up so I can show you something I saw today. Because that comment right there, if I had that post, and
everybody had them. Everyone had them winning the championship in the beginning of the season. They had them in Brooklyn. They had them in Brooklyn in the finals.
Unbelievable.
They had Brooklyn and the Lakers in the finals. That was what they wanted. That's what they expected to see.
Look at the lineup.
But I already said it was going to happen.
James, Russell Westbrook,
old, injured.
Anthony Davis,
old, injured.
Dwight Howard,
old, injured.
Carmelo Anthony,
old and injured.
Come on now.
All I hear is
that
but,
team just.
But here's what they didn't do. If they would have kept Caruso and got DeRozan, we're speaking a different tune.
Yeah. They'd be in the top 5 right now.
But they decided to go with Westbrook, who is
5 or 6.
He's like you said, he's kind of on his decline, and he's not.
We're watching him decline with right before our eyes.
You have Anthony Davis
shoot.
Yeah,
he couldn't shoot. From like here to the trash can, this man is gonna miss it.
And AD, it's ridiculous. We gotta keep ranting about street clothes because he can't seem to stay in a game. He can't seem to play 5 games straight without hurting himself.
I see that man's entire wardrobe.
And
it's ridiculous.
And you got Carmelo Anthony, which he's been relegated to a bench player at this point.
But he's still putting up 15 points. I'm not gonna hate on him. He's putting up his points when he.
But he can't cut. But he doesn't cut it no more. He can't give you what he gave you 5 years ago. Let's be honest. He can't, and he's not. And then you have Dwight Howard. What's he got? What do you expect to get out of him? Much, except doing hard fouls and getting teased.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just not going to cut it. And so they're not going anywhere. LeBron is going to be averaging 30 points a game.
Team leader.
On a team that's going to
LeBron.
Yeah, on a team, but
Jesus. Even the blocks.
Where's Anthony Davis?
Even on the blocks, this man is leading the team in blocks too. LeBron James.
So their record is what? They're 29-39. So how many games is that? That's 60. What? 39.
Let's say 40 and 30 is 70. So let's call it 68 games.
Okay, 69 games.
68 games.
68 games. Anthony Davis only played 37.
Isn't that a red flag to you?
That's been a red flag.
To me, that is a red flag. And then half those other games that he did play those 37, he was basically getting his legs back under him again to get back to NBA speed before, let me grab my leg. I really hope. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I don't hate on men and the way they make their money or anything like that. But if you cannot perform and you are supposed to be a top tier player and you're getting top tier money and you're not playing, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go. You got to go. I'd trade him.
That's what I said. That's what I said about
big man.
That's what I said about Derrick Rose many years ago.
I'll get Carl Anthony Thomas. I will trade him for the cap, for sure. I know that Embiid ain't going nowhere, but we need to.
Minnesota is gonna say, "Screw you, Lakers. We're not giving you him."
Yeah.
Go and draft a player.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what you send.
Why would you? We're gonna send garbage Westbrook, aging Westbrook, and injured Anthony Davis to Minnesota for Cat. Why would Minnesota be so stupid to do something like that?
Well, they're not going.
But then again, we know about this team. They gave away. They let Jimmy Butler go. Who else did they let go? They let Kevin Garnett go. So this.
I can't hate too much. They're in 7th place. Quietly, they won 40 games.
They're 10 games over. So again, why would you want to make a trade with the garbage Lakers? Let them keep sinking. Let that ship sink like the Titanic, all the way down to the bottom.
Well, they need another big man, that's for sure.
I'm sure they do. And if I'm any team, I would not help them.
Don't be surprised if you don't see Westbrook on that team next year either. Don't be surprised if you
might
see John Wall.
They can give him a buyout.
John Wall.
But I believe he's under contract. They'll have to buy him out.
John Wall is going to be out there.
So
let's move on from the Lakers.
Right,
I've had my rant with him.
So you want to get on your specialty here today with about
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. Yes.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
the last show that we had, I kind of went on ahead and I said, I guarantee that after this game that they play the Philadelphia 76ers, that he'd be eligible to play at like 10:15 that night. Well, turns out that they've had several games since then, and Ben Simmons has been a no-show. Well, he has been a show. He's been sitting on the bench, cackling and laughing with his new teammates. To me, he just looks bad doing that. So today, it's been announced that Ben Simmons has another issue. He has an L4 disc irritation in his lower spine. This man is probably not gonna play until the playoffs. They're probably gonna play him maybe 3 games before the playoffs to get him up to game speed. But we're probably not gonna see him very much, because from what their coach is saying is they say that Ben Simmons could appear in a couple of regular season games. That's it. He hasn't played at all this season. This man hasn't played at all since last season, since he choked away free throws and shots for the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they picked him up. They're paying him this money. Here, Ben Simmons, we're going to save you. You're going to come out here. He talks trash, talking about it's going to be scary. Man, it's going to be scary. It looks like the only thing that's scary is you, because you're still sitting on the sideline. How are you hurt? You've been sitting for over a year. Well, almost a year now. How are you hurt? What did you hurt? It's ridiculous. I think it's BS, and I'm really having a dislike for him. I mean, I used to be a Ben Simmons fan. You can ask Frank here. I used to, stand up for him every time Frank said he was garbage, because I saw his assist potential, and I saw his decision-making on the court and his defensive presence. Offensively, boo, garbage. But otherwise, I mean, he's an average player to me now, and all this big deal of paying him and all this, I'm sorry. For an average player, this is just way too much. Letting this man sit on the bench and cackle with players, it's just a bad look for the league and a bad look for that team. So I'm done with my Ben Simmons rant. Anything for you?
Oh, yeah. First of all, I think you're giving way too much credit to call him average, because I don't think he's average at all. I think he is a below average. He can't score. He can't shoot. He can't hit free throws. He can probably rebound. You could probably give him maybe an average defender, but overall as a player, no way. Now, as far as this latest injury, was it spinal tendonitis? Is that what it is?
Oh, no, they said he has
spinal irritation.
It's a disc irritation.
Disc
in his
irritation.
Lower spine.
Okay, so you have disc irritation. Okay. But how is this possible? You haven't played since June. So what have you been doing to have spinal irritation? How do you have back problems? I'm baffled to hear.
It's all
this.
the models that he gets.
So I don't know how this is happening. You haven't picked up a ball and played a regular season game since June of last year. And all of a sudden you can't play. Here's what I think is happening. And this is where I really wish they would be honest and stop giving us some BS injury, because I don't think he's injured at all. I don't think he has mental issues at all. I think his pride is hurt, and he's just a crybaby, and really should get out the league if you don't want to play. Give that spot to someone else who needs to get in the league. You get out, you leave. I think what's happening is the Nets know this guy is absolutely in no shape to play. Okay,
no.
He is not in any kind of basketball shape to play. No matter how he looks. He's in no basketball shape. He probably cannot run any drills. He probably can't shoot. Well, he can't shoot anyway. He probably has not done anything to improve his game, and he's just been bitching and moaning about being traded and mental health issues, which is all BS. He just doesn't want to play.
Which he claimed that it wasn't mental health. It's been recorded on audio. This man saying it wasn't mental health. It was just the environment where he was at.
But I think what's happening is what the Nets are doing is they're trying to get him in shape. They're trying to get him in basketball, NBA shape, because this would be his preseason training camp to get him in season shape so that he may be able to come in and play a couple of regular season games so they can get the team ready for the playoffs. That's what I think they're doing. I really wish they would just be honest and say that instead of pulling some nonsense injury. They know this man's not injured. He has no more back or spinal irritation than I do.
Yeah.
Sleep on a better bed. You're a millionaire. You're a multi-millionaire. Sit on I'm sure you have no problem sleeping on your $10,000 bed in your mansion somewhere. I think it's all baloney. I really do think that they are doing this so they can get this man in shape to get ready for the playoffs, which is what I was mentioning before. You can't just throw him out there and play. I didn't think that was going to happen. Like, they got to get him in shape. And I bet you when they evaluated him, they saw this man is in absolutely no shape to play basketball, NBA
I'm sorry.
at all.
I saw this man practicing and running scrimmages like
when
he was sitting out. He did something to keep himself in some sort of shape. He was running pickup games. There was videos of him shooting threes.
They only showed a few minutes of it.
Throws.
I think, but the coaching staff, the GM, they know this. They know basketball, and they know darn well they have to spin it. So they got to say something. We can't just sit there and say, "Oh, he's not in shape," because he'll get criticized for it, right?
Right.
So they're gonna say, "Oh, he has an injury. We got to throw some kind of injury in there." We don't know how this works. We got to say he has some kind of injury because we don't want to mess up his already crappy image already. So they got to say he has spinal irritation. I never even heard of that ever. I've never heard of any NBA player, basketball player, even the most mysterious baseball injuries. I've never heard spinal irritation ever. So that's just an excuse that I look at as this man is not in shape to play. He is not ready, nowhere near ready. And we hope to get him ready in the next month before the season ends, to get a couple of games in, to get him ready for the playoffs. And then when he gets in, we don't know how many minutes we can play him when he does get in there.
Right.
So right now, he is practicing. He's probably getting himself into shape behind closed doors, but practicing with the players. They're not going to mention this. They're not going to say this. But he's probably getting into shape now to get ready to play probably the last couple of games of the season, and get ready for the playoffs. That's what they're doing, to try to make a run for it, and that's what I think about it.
Yeah.
But I think I thought it was a bad move for Brooklyn to trade away Harden for Ben Simmons. Just cut Ben Simmons.
Harden didn't want to be there. Obviously, he did not want to be there anymore.
Well, he doesn't want to be there, but you got to pay, but he's going to play.
Trade a star for a star, and that's basically
star for a star. Who's he playing? What stars they trading for? What other star did they get for him?
Ben Simmons.
He ain't no star. You can't call a below average player a star.
That man is getting superstar money. Okay, so
that's called desperation.
When you're getting superstar money,
when you put up superstar stats, then I'll call you a superstar. Hell, you can pay anybody $20 million, $100 million, and they don't produce it all.
They don't.
So
they pay guys like that $3.5 million a
year. And he should be getting league minimum.
Yeah.
Be honest with you.
Yeah.
And really shouldn't be getting that. He's just hogging the spot that you can give another player.
He's an average player.
Yeah, he's not even that. He's below average to me. So,
but our time.
Okay, so with that being said, looks like that's going to wrap up our discussion today with our opinions today on the matter. We want to thank you for listening to us today, and you can always catch our shows on all of streaming services like Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, and anywhere you can listen to a podcast at. And with that being said, I'm Frank. This is Mike. We definitely hope to be have another show within the next few days, probably for the weekend. We may have a show. Discuss the comings and goings of what's going on in the world of sports and Chicago sports. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. And thank you for listening to Sports Opinions with Regular Guys.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Thank you.
That was a good